Hi, my name is Danielle Epley, and this is called The Timeline of My Child. So picture this. It's the year 2055, and my daughter is getting married to a robot. I never imagined that this would be the person my daughter married. I always thought she would marry someone that just sweeps her off her feet. Well, I guess her fiance can do that too, but he can also chuck her 30 feet across the room. Now, this may be a little extreme, but let's take a look at how we got here and got to this point in time. Whenever my daughter was born, the iPhone XXX SR came out, and so did the iPad Extreme. Of course, I had to get it for her, because everybody else is so obsessed with technology, why not get her started at an early age? 2 years later, self-driving cars became the only cars to be made in the car industry. This was totally a disruptive innovation as it affected all the other car industries. Me and my family also started investing in cryptocurrency for our future. So, 2 years into my daughter's life, we had the iPad Extreme, the iPhone XXSR, so crazy new technology, and we also had self-driving cars, and cryptocurrency became really huge. So, I don't know if you remember, but in one of my posts, I said that I'm not somebody who tries out new innovations. I always wait until somebody else tries it out, and if they like it, then I'll try it. So that's kind of what happened here. I finally got myself to invest in it. A couple years later, when my daughter was 4 years old, solar energy took over fossil fuels. Through that was a loss of jobs, but so many jobs were also created. I always thought that solar energy would take jobs away, but really it helps build more jobs for our society. And my daughter also wanted a wind turbine for a toy. I can't find that anywhere. I did have one, but I lost it. But yeah, so she's growing up with solar energy. That is extreme. It's already big like in the present time now, but in the future, it got even bigger. So a couple years later, bioengineered crops completely took over the farming industry. So this grain bin, I think, yeah, say goodbye to that. They are now grown in factories, and that completely took over my family's jobs of being farmers because we didn't need that anymore because they can just be built right in a factory or grown, sorry. So skipping forward 6 more years, she's now 12. And this is where the beginning of my story all started because this is when robots became human-like and they were a part of our everyday lives. It doesn't even faze anybody to see a robot walking around because they became so familiar. Another 4 years later, she turned 16 years old. And I remember that self-driving cars were the new fab. But now, those are a thing of the past. And I don't know if you remember, but I referenced an article that said that self-driving cars were kind of a little iffy because they have to follow the rules of the road, and that can differ for each state. But we don't even have rules of the roads anymore. We have rules of the sky. Yes, we have flying cars. Oh gosh, see, there's one right now. They're so dangerous. My daughter's gonna be driving one of those or flying one of those. I can't even right now. So yeah, she's 16 years old and there's flying cars. I never thought it could possibly happen. A couple years later, cryptocurrency blew up even bigger and we became millionaires. Thank gosh, I finally got over my fear of trying new things and I was able to become a millionaire off cryptocurrency. So yeah, now my daughter's flying a car. We're now millionaires. And before this, she didn't even think about going to college because we didn't have the money because my family was completely shut down by bioengineered crops. But now that we're millionaires, she decided to go into a career of none other than health and medical technology. A couple years later, I was diagnosed with heart disease, but don't worry, we have 3D hearts now. So I was able to get a 3D heart implanted into me. So that's great. Thank you, medical and health technology. And who did that, you may ask? A robot doctor. Are you surprised? I'm not. Fast forward 5 years, so my daughter's 25 years old. She's still in her degree a little bit, but she's not finished. She's actually doing whatever they do in the hospital, you know, just getting a little practicum hours and teaching, but medical style. Yes, I forgot what that's called, but yeah, so this is where she meets her robot fiance in the past or in the future, and they fall in love. Oh, Lord, help me. Help us all. Of course, she was too busy with all her doctor stuff, so they actually didn't get married until 2055. So finally, 10 years later, after she met this person, they ended up, well, not person, this robot. They ended up getting married. And in this wedding were cyborgs, robots, humans. If you can picture it, it was there. Trust me, it was there. So yeah, they finally got married, and the day of the wedding, the person marrying them asked the robot if he will marry my daughter. And he says, in case you're wondering, that is, I do, in robot. They still talk, even when I'm trying to talk. I'm sorry. Hey, future son-in-law, I'm trying to do a presentation over here. Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna leave it. No, I'm gonna get it. You know, they just don't listen sometimes. And that's the thing about robots. They do their own thing. They don't really care about us humans. Rude. Okay, so they got married. Okay. Oh, and in case you didn't know, we also now have the technology where you can stick it in your ear and it's able to translate what people say to you. So if somebody is speaking robot language to me, I'm able to hear it and understand it through this earpiece and vice versa. Pretty crazy stuff in the future, let me tell you. So I know that was all a little extreme and probably a little too dramatic. And there was also an article that I read that said robots are actually not going to become a thing of our future. And that there will not be robots in our future, but you know what? If we can dream it up and we can imagine it, then it can happen. I truly believe that. And throughout this class, I've really been a technology pessimist. So I always thought they would take over our jobs and that they would just completely destroy our society. And although I still believe that's a little true, I still believe that technology is good. And I believe that there are good things that can come from it. Oh, so just a review. In my child's lifetime, there's probably going to be 3D hearts. We already have artificial organs. There's going to be more bioengineered crops that might even take over the farming industry. And who knows, there might even be flying cars. But altogether, my daughter grew up in a time where technology soared. I never thought I would raise a child in a time like this. I mean, imagine now, but in the future it's going to be even crazier. Although articles from class said robots are not going to exist, like I said, they easily could. Like I said, if you can dream it, then we can make it. And I know that technology in 20 years is going to be double or triple what it is now. It's going to blow our minds and it's going to be crazy. So it's kind of cool that we can live in a time like this, but we also have to think how it's going to affect our society and how it's going to affect us. So I'm very thankful for this class for showing me what my future might look like and how I should think about how I view technology. So my name is Danielle Epley, and this presentation was called The Timeline of My Child. Thank you. Bye.